how did you know what needed to be shared, and how did you know what to kind of keep to yourself? And then once you decided a big one needed to be shared that scared you, how are you kind of like making peace with that?
I've always kind of been a bit of a vault and kind of
Mhm.
like a let's just focus down and get the stuff done, right? Like,
Mhm.
we're not here to like sing kumbaya in the corner. Let's just like get work done. There can be strength in that, but there can also be weaknesses. I was raised to believe that being a quote unquote victim is bad and gross. And so people that kind of just like overshare and like bleed their whole life all over social media was something that I always kind of battled with, this idea of like, how do I basically share from a scar and not from a wound? How do I not overshare and bleed all over? How do I also not judge myself or other people in the process of their own discovery and uncovering of that?
Mm.
Um, but how do I also let myself be seen? And I actually, there's a quote in the book that I say, you can't hide yourself and expect to be seen. And I think that I
Mm.
was doing that for a very long time. And so what really kicked it off for me was that I remember reading a book several years ago from one of my favorite female entrepreneurs. And in my eyes, this woman had everything. I mean, she thriving business, speaking on stages, had served the world globally, had changed so many lives. She was just everything. And I pick up her book and I'm so excited because not only do I want to hear about strategies and how to do this or that, but I was really hoping that I could learn a little bit more about her because like me, she's kind of evolved. And I was hoping that maybe I could see myself in her and not feel so disconnected and not feel so alone. So I pick up
Mm.
the book and I start going through it. And Lori, literally everything in the book was just like a copy and paste of all of her work, like all of
Mm.
her podcasts, all of her YouTube stuff, all of her courses. And I knew this woman's work so well by that point that I started to be like, oh, then she's going to tell this story. And then she's going to tell this story.
Mm.
And so I got like a third away through the book, closed it, put it on my shelf, never opened it again.
Mm.
And that's when I knew that if I ever got the chance to write a book and let alone have someone read the dang thing, like I was going to have to share more than
Mm.
just what was safe.
Mm.
And so that's when I knew that I needed to go deeper, and how I decided what that was going to be, at least for this book, because the focus of this book is really about stepping into your power and your lightness. It's really about cracking you open so you can shine, which is what we're all supposed to do in this world. It had to start with all of those things that kind of kept me from doing that. And so I decided to share some stories about my childhood, about growing up in the family that I grew up with. I did not have a lot of money growing up, so there's a lot of issues around my money, my beliefs about money, my ability to make money. I grew up with a lot of alcoholism and addiction in my life, and so there was a lot of shaping and fixing and control and people pleasing that I would do for a very long time. And just, again, a lot of hiding. I didn't feel that I could be loved and accepted for who I was. And so I would just start to kind of put on all these masks, like, do you like this one? Do you like this one? What about this one? And how that kind of
Mm.
unfolded. And so from those core ideas of the things that kept me stuck, and I call them origin stories, that's how I was able to start to unravel what those stories would be.